Hey guys, it's the History Nerd, and we are back with another exciting episode of Panzer Corps. Now, I've been messing around with the recording so far. All you guys have missed is me basically going through. We upgraded one of our Panzer 1s to a 38T, and we replaced everyone's losses. So just to go over it, we can't really show it, but replacements on this screen, normal replacements are free. The experienced replacements do cost prestige. So I went with free replacements for the most part. I did give some units some decent replacements just because I think that's, when you're taking a hit from like 127 to 99 in experience, it doesn't really matter because a unit's going to get one experience point pretty much per mission. I mean, that's not a guarantee, but provided you move each units and attack with them, they're going to get experience. When you're dropping like, 40, 50, 60 experience points away from the 100, 200, that kind of level, because I'm pretty sure that's where the level up happens, is at 100, 200 stages like that. Then, you're just creating more work for yourself. Anyway, we've got to set up our units for the invasion of Norway. And our objectives here, I am on the zoomed out map, we've got 2 cities in the north and we've got 4 cities in the south. So obviously, as you can see with these insertion points here, most of our forces are going to be concentrated in the south. Thankfully, because we do only have 3 units in the north, that's barely enough to take a city, we do also have paratroopers. So we've got 3 units of paratroopers here, or Fallschirmjägers, however you want to call it. I'm going to call them paratroopers, because that's what rolls off my tongue. So we can get those guys up to the north, and they will help a lot. There is air cover to worry about. If we lose one of these, that's not good, but we'll still be able to take these 2 cities with some infantry that we put down here, an artillery piece. Actually, let's get going on that. So we're going to put down an artillery piece. We're going to put down 1 unit of mountain infantry and 1 unit of normal, just Wehrmacht infantry. And we're not going to use ones with trucks attached to them because movement speed doesn't really matter up here. We've got to travel from here to here to here. We can do that fairly easily. The big concern is getting mobile units in the south so they can get up north to take places like Oslo. That's going to be really the big push, is to get Oslo. We're going to have landings happening in 3 locations, I hope. We'll see what kind of forces I can put together. You can see we've got room for 2 more. So we'll get those guys put in once we get the rest of these units set up. So what we're going to want is we're going to want a piece of artillery. We do want some artillery here. But landing to hit the city is a bit tricky. I think we can do it from across here. I think that's going to still be an artillery range. We might have to move it around a bit. And we definitely don't want to put it next to that city. Anyway, we're going to want to slap down a couple units of infantry here. And we'll put the truck units in. We'll put another unit of mountain infantry. And we'll give them a 38T as well. This land isn't really conducive to tanks. Now I'm really thinking. It might be better to have all of our tanks down here. You see, the trouble with Norway is it's not a very good armor map. It's really focused on infantry. We will need tanks, though, so we'll go ahead and we'll put a 38T down here. We can get our air forces set up, too, because that's, pretty limited as to where they can go. And then we're going to need, so we've got, what have we got? We've got our artillery. No, that's what I wanted to take out. There we go. We've got some infantry there. So we'll put down a mountain unit, which I inadvertently took out, and we'll slap down the 11th Wehrmacht infantry as well. And we can go ahead. We're still rolling with a Panzer. I'm going to see if I can actually get rid of that Panzer 1, because I feel bad enough rolling in with a Panzer 2. Panzer 1s are just, especially with that much. And the first, yeah, these guys need an upgrade. I mean, they're the 1st Panzer battalion, so they've got to have the best tanks we can offer them. So we're going to need 2 more units of infantry, and what I'm going to want to do with these guys is actually upgrade them just to have the blitzes. We could give them half tracks, but 1 half track is going to be the same cost as 2 opals, and we need 2 opals here. So we're saving a bit of prestige that way, which is good. What else are we going to need? We're going to need... let me think this through. If we put those guys there, we're going to need 2 more infantry. Have we got pioneers? We do. These guys are really good for taking cities, and that's pretty much about it. So I think instead of going for the pioneers, we'll just go with another Wehrmacht infantry, and we might as well get some grenadiers. So they're rolling with machine guns. Machine guns are good. We'll get some of them in. We've got no artillery down here, do we? Shoot. Okay, what we're going to do is we'll pull our Panzer II, and then we can go ahead and get a cannon, because artillery is really helpful for taking cities. And in fact, we've got enough forces here probably to take that, especially with our air force. We'll get... is that how I really want these guys? I think we'll slap the artillery there, and then we can put our infantry there and our grenadiers there. Okay, so that's looking like a good setup. And yeah, we don't need that guy. That'll be fine. If we wind up losing forces, we can always throw them in for free. We're down to 13 prestige, so we better not take losses early. Let's do it to it. So we can see here our victory condition: capture all objectives with at least 9 turns remaining. It seems like a lot of turns, but, you know, that's going to be tough. And then a marginal victory is capture all objectives except Namsos. Now, I can do all objectives. It's just a question of whether I can get it done with 9 turns remaining or not. So that's going to be the test. Let's see if we can do it. We're set. We're ready. First thing we're going to do is move our paratroopers up north, and hopefully, that's not a good position, hopefully avoid any sort of patrols, because our 109 can't get up there to help them, is really what's going on. So we're going to put them as far out as we can, but yeah, there's not going to be a whole heck of a lot that guy can do. Next up, we'll just go ahead and move our forces into their landing positions. And there. Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, we can't undo everything. That sucks. I should have thought that through much better. That guy should have gone there. So we could just move into that city if it's undefended. Oh, well, we've got our artillery there. That's fine. Yes, artillery, grenadiers, and then infantry can land there. We will take our Stuka and start the bombing. Okay, fairly ineffective. We will take our 10 or our 110, do some strafing runs, and we are going to get our navy moving up out of range. Now, thankfully, we can move or we can fire and then move, which is going to be helpful. Just to do that, and I should go over the ship types that we've got. We've got here a Schnellboote, so a little machine gun boat. You know those from Silent Hunter because they piss me off all the time going through the English Channel. Then we've got some heavy cruisers, we've got a light cruiser, we've got some destroyers. I think that's it for this section, so let's move north. We've got some U-boats here, which is pretty groovy. And now, of course, in typical strategy game fashion, rock, paper, scissors. So the U-boats are good against big ships. They're not good against destroyers. Destroyers are good against U-boats. They're not good against big ships. Big ships are good against pretty much everything except for U-boats. So just something to keep in mind. Let's get that guy moving up, and he should still be in range to do some damage. We've got our artillery here, so we're going to move him up to about there. And then I think we can fit everybody else. No. This guy's going to have to go there. And hopefully they don't attack. I don't think they can. They might. We'll find out. And now for the real tricky bit. We're going to get our forces landed. And then in an effort to sort of keep this area clear... yeah, I guess that's the best that we're going to be able to do. We'll put up some destroyer blockades like that. And we've taken notice of their infantry there, so we might as well start shelling them with our navy. That's it for units. Let's go to the next turn. And as you can see, heavy cruisers against destroyers, it's a non-contest. Battleships against destroyers is even more of a non-contest. So it's this situation, it's really set up where your navy's not going to win. There's ways to do it. I haven't figured it out. I'm not that big of a strategic genius to figure that stuff out. So I suppose if we got our Air Force involved too, we might be able to pull it off. But it's more important to take land than it is to sink British ships at this stage. Which, if you're a regular on this channel, that's kind of a weird statement to hear. But it's the truth. Okay, so thankfully, no air patrols decided to engage our paratroopers, which is huge. So we're going to send them up this way. Careful to try and avoid any visual contact with cities, because that is a bad thing. And ooh, that is some good hits there. That's not so hot. But critically, we want to make sure we take care of artillery in the area. Now, we could hit ships with our land-based artillery. And we can even hit ships, you know, if we've got infantry next to them. But it's not the best idea. You're not going to kill too many people using an infantry unit against ships. That was a very bad attack, but at least we're even. Let's move down south and see what we can do here. Not much, unfortunately. So that's a bit of a pain. Okay, well, let's hit that with our heavy cruiser, or our light cruiser, I should say, and see if we can't pull these guys back, because that's really not a good location for them. Should have probably hit that. Oh, words are escaping me. The U-boat! Well, the British submarine with the destroyer before I moved it back. Can we get another hit? We can. And we'll keep moving these naval forces west and then north. Pretty ineffective fire from a heavy cruiser, but that's okay. Send that guy in. How do we want to do this? What do we got here? 10th Wehrmacht and 18th Wehrmacht. So it doesn't really matter. We'll drop that guy there. We'll unfortunately have to move him. We'll go and take that airfield with our tanks. And then we can sweep up and capture the rest in the south here. Might as well get the Schnellboat moving. And we might as well capture all we can there as well. Well, not capture, but land at least. How are we going to do this? We can't attack like that. Huh. Alright, well, we're going to drop our artillery there. That's a for sure thing. Then we can move this guy up. Mountain troops. Probably not best to put them on planes. And I mean, like, planes is in a plane, not an airplane. And can we get this guy moving and help things out? Take on that Hurricane. Hurricane ain't got nothing on our BF-109. Yeah. Might as well continue the bombing as well. And I do believe that that's going to be it. There's really no need to move those airplanes yet. Yeah, that seems like a stupid idea. Of course, leaving them there to get hit doesn't really seem like a better idea, so we can do that. At least get a little bit of information on what's going on up north into Namsos. And that should be it. The next units we've got, I have no real desire to move that heavy cruiser. Don't necessarily need to move that guy. And the planes are fine. Okay, next turn. Yeah, well, I mean, that destroyer was going to get sunk anyway. And we definitely want to get our forces away from these asshats as quick as we possibly can. And a freaking battleship. We got nothing against battleships. So you notice there that British destroyer did get an unexpected encounter. That happens when they try to move into a square that is obviously occupied by a unit that they don't know is there. Alright, so our forces are taking some damage, but that's okay. We've got people up on the ground now, and thankfully this artillery piece is in range of everything, so we can just start shelling the city. Drop that guy there, and then we can move that guy up and drop him here. I don't like being that close to the enemy city, but there's really not much we can do about that at the moment. We can just do our best to try and put an end to things. That is not going to work out well. I want to sort of set up a trap with this submarine. And surprisingly, attacking a U-boat with the destroyer is not a good idea. I say that's surprising because it should be a very good idea, but it isn't. That's fine. We'll get our Schnellboats up here. Now, the issue with the Schnellboats is they've got about 2 rounds of combat before they have to get resupplied, and they are very easy to wind up getting destroyed, which does suck, but, you know, it is what it is. And at least with those trades, we're doing okay. Well, we're still in range. That's good. Get the Schnellboats up, and we can move these guys around to start hammering this town. There we go. And unfortunately, oh, there we go. Captured the city. I thought we couldn't actually land troops in cities, but you can, which is good. All right. Well, this shouldn't be any sort of issue at all to take this city. And it isn't. We didn't even take any infantry losses, which is huge. I'm going to hold off on that move for now. And just see if we can actually capture this city. Okay, good. So now we'll send you up and get Larvik. We'll take that. Thank you very much. Both of these planes are going to refuel now because we're right next to airfields, which is handy-dandy fun. And I know there's a fort over in this area somewhere right there. So I'm going to want to try and keep my tanks as out of range of that as I possibly can before I'm able to get some air cover in there to blow it to smithereens. We've got that all taken care of. We've got this front to deal with now, and it is definitely something we need to deal with. But it's fine. We can drop our paratroopers. Now, we can't drop paratroopers if the plane has moved. So, unfortunately, we're just going to have to move these guys into position and then drop them later. I'm very happy that both of these planes made it as far as they did. That makes me pretty pleased with things. And we are taking some heavy losses with these mountain troops, and that is not necessarily a good thing. But at least, you know, we're getting more units every day into the region, which is good. And I think that's pretty much it. We don't really know what I want to do with this destroyer, so we'll just pull him back. And this guy definitely needs some fuel, so we'll send him down there. Is that plane able to shoot still? Oh, hello. This changes things a bit. We'll do some damage to the destroyers. Although, to be honest, that ME-110 probably could have been put to better use trying to take this city here. So yeah, you can see just with the layout of the navies and how that combat goes, there's really not much of a chance for Germany to be successful. As you can see, we're getting more destroyers every day coming down, and shortly we will be getting their battleships. So it sucks, especially since apparently our destroyers can't shoot for shit, but you know, that's a thing. So you can see there, oh, they've got an aircraft carrier. You can see there that Schnellboot there as it's getting attacked, not with the submarine, but with the destroyer. Because its ammo was in red, it couldn't return fire. So you definitely don't want to leave your units in a position where they can't defend themselves. That's not a good thing. Okay, let's see if we can get you up there and then drop you there. I'd love to be able to swap places with you, but it's just not going to happen today. Man, this is turning into quite the grind. There we go. Now we're starting to inflict some casualties. We might as well get you out. We're going to have to return you to a port to resupply. And that does suck. But it is the nature of life. Might as well hit that guy. And focus fire on him. There we go. So at least we've sunk one destroyer. Might as well hit the... Oh, it evaded? Come on, really? What else we got? We got this Stuka that we might as well start using. I can't really get it up into this area. So we'll send him over here and just start dropping bombs on the fort. Could be better. Alright, well let's get our tank column moving. Is that Panzer 4? Okay, yeah, it's not my Panzer 4. That's too bad. I'd love to be able to have a full force of them fully operational. Let's get these guys on the go. They can get shelled, obviously, by the fort, but they can't actually get attacked. So them being mounted up in trucks isn't as big of a concern as one might think it is. We might as well throw our 109 up there just to provide some air cover from the Hurricane that we've already shot at. And we can get our bigger ships on the move up north as well. And what else can we do? Well, we might as well try and do some damage to this artillery piece here. We're not very successful at it. And we'll leave that guy just waiting. And I think... Nope, that's definitely not it. Whew, that needs some serious replacements on our artillery. Might as well drop down the last of our paratroopers and start actually attacking this piece of artillery. Perfect. It's removed. So now we should be able to capture this last city. And we might as well move the paratroopers in because they're full health. And now we just have to really focus on the push up north. And then on the naval landings. So we've got the 2 southern cities secured. We've got one of the 2 northern cities secured. We just need 3 more cities and we're done. That should be easy, right? We should have no problem finishing this with 9 turns left. We'll see. I ain't counting my chickens before they hatch. Really? You're just gonna gang rape me with destroyers? More U-boats. Or submarines. Those aren't U-boats flying the Union Jack. Oh, 4. Oh dear. That is not good. Alright, so before we do anything else, we can't freaking heal that guy? Damn it, okay. That's not good. So we'll move him there. Oh, that's really not good. We can at least get our mountain troops up. And hopefully finish one of these units off. The 9th here has been fighting like madmen, so that's good. We've got that secured. I really don't want to use that unit to do anything. Let's return some fire on these guys, see if we can't sink some destroyers. And get him away from the U-boats. We'll go with the 4. Probably should have hit that one. But we should have another ship here that can finish that guy off. And then we can move our Schnellboat up there. Who takes no return fire. And that's that for that. Let's get our ME-109 up and start clearing, or ME-110, start trying to clear out some stuff. Oh, we're going to have to retreat that Stuka. Far too damaged. There we go. Alright. Now, we hit the section where we realize tanks are not a good thing to bring to Norway. So, oh, that was not really what I wanted to do. I was thinking, that path, it's way too clear. Still, we can do something like that and get those guys in here so we can start attacking the anti-aircraft gun. And obviously we want to take out the anti-aircraft gun because, you don't necessarily want anti-aircraft cannons while you've got airplanes in the region. That's just not a good thing to do. We'll get you up there. And I think that's about it for the south. That's that for that. How are we looking in the north? North needs some work. But at least we're in a situation where we can advance. So we'll put those guys up. I knew that that piece of artillery was going to be there. And we should be able to bunny hop this. Like so. Get that guy in, and now we can start getting some replacements to those guys. Oh, I should have moved him further inland, because they're still going to be able to take fire here. Can we actually damage an aircraft carrier with infantry? We can. My god. That's amazing. Alright, so, again with the whole idea of rock, paper, scissors, we can see here we've got a British machine gun. Not exactly something you want to charge up against without any sort of, way to hit it with either artillery or aircraft first. Never send your infantry charging into machine guns. Alright, so we got 20 turns left. Yeah, that's not bad. There goes a Schnellboot, but that's okay. And yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Since that artillery piece isn't taking as much damage from ship units, I had a feeling they'd be sending stuff down. Alright, well, I'm glad we moved our Fallschirmjägers into the city there. That was quite the heroic defense we pulled off. Let's continue with the north while I'm thinking about it. And so now we might as well just finish off that machine gun. I'm going to take a little bit of damage, but that's okay. And again, these Fallschirmjägers are not units that I actually own. So, obviously we'll reinforce them if and when we need to, but it's not going to be critical if they wind up dead. Which is, kind of cold to say, but it is the truth. And I don't think we want to push on that. Might as well finish that guy off. And I have a feeling I may have committed too many forces to the north here. This is going to be a relatively easy capture of an objective. Whereas, well, even Bergen here is looking okay if you ignore, all the freaking British ships that are hanging around here. Which I'm going to, of course. I don't think we've got any destroyers left, so that submarine unit is going to be a royal pain. You will return fire, and you will return more fire than I want to take. We're going to get one last shot with you, which does nothing, but we're going to pull you back. Alright, well now we'll move our U-boats up, and we'll either get a U-boat on U-boat fight, or we'll actually get a chance to use a U-boat against the heavy cruiser, which is superb. Alright, let's see. Oops. And I've got to say, the weather this mission has been absolutely wonderful. Our ability to use the Air Force as effectively as we're doing is very, very nice. Alright, so that... yeah, he can stay. Do some shelling, but it doesn't look like it's going to get much. Well, they are suppressed. And an artillery unit operating at 20% isn't going to be all that dangerous for infantry to move into. I have a feeling moving into the forest might give us a bit of a defensive bonus, so we might as well do that. And now, what can we hit? It's pointless to shell the fortress, so we might as well just hit the anti-aircraft gun. Try and finish it off here. Good, it's retreated. We'll move up the... no, we won't be able to move up the Panzer Corps, especially if they miss the infantry they're trying to attack. So we'll have to step these guys up. Might as well finish off that infantry unit well we can. And just slowly advance our units. There we go. Might as well send these guys down here. Now, it's never really a good idea to attack a town with tanks. But I was not wanting to see a rugged defense there. That is bad news, bears. That's okay, though. We should be able to take this relatively easily and then capture that city, no problem. We'll definitely need to get some replacements here. So this is one of those situations where you're looking at and you're like, 31 prestige. We're still going to be, at the 100 level. But this, I mean, we're pushing 160. I think I'll actually spend the money on the Stuka to get that going. And that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Yeah, we got to get that artillery piece into the city. So let's do that. Well, we'll drive it. That's fine. Yeah, we might as well keep pushing. And we can wrap you around in the hopes that we can get more infantry moving. We'll resupply you guys. That rugged defense isn't too bad because, of course, we only took one loss. Might as well do that for all the good it's going to do. We'll give this a try. No, we won't. Alright, well, in that case, we'll send this guy maybe up north, just to provide some air cover up there. And then I'm trying to decide if it's better. Well, it's probably better to do that. It's a lot better to do that. Okay, let's hit them. And we'll hit him again. Oh, come on. No damage either way. And we can get these guys resupplied, sort of, so we'll do it. And if we can just sink this heavy cruiser, I'll consider it a win for the Navy. Kind of I mean, it's a crappy way to win, don't get me wrong. Nobody wants to, you know, have a Pyrrhic victory like this, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I guess we'll just keep bombing this. At the very least, our Stuka is getting some very nice experience from it all. I don't know if it's a nice experience to be getting, or to be having, but they're getting experience points, and that's really all that matters. So if we can just edge our tanks up in that direction to go after the anti-aircraft, although that's kind of a moot point once we get those guys going, and we can sort of do... That is not a good attack. Alright, well, let's keep these guys moving. Normally, I like using Norway as a way to farm prestige, just to kind of... Yeah, we should really pull that guy back. And we'll send him around, see if he can help out. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea to attack that. We got no other attacks there, and we are set for the north. Really for the completion of the north. And then it's just going to be a matter of keeping our units alive. As you can see, the Royal Navy, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but they're taking exception to my swift advance to the north. I don't get it. It's pretty rude. Alright. We'll take you back over this way. Do some more damage. We can get you firing, which is great. We can get a final hit on you guys. Hopefully suppress you a little bit. We suppressed you a lot. We won't even need to worry about those guys defending themselves. We'll let these guys rest and repair, which we should also probably do to them. And we will keep those guys away from the city as best as we possibly can. Well, look at that. Yeah, it may not be the smartest idea to move my ships around while there's still a submarine out. But we can use our own submarine to block them. Alright. This should be the last of it here, actually. That is a dangerous play, I will admit, but we did get some prestige for taking that city, so that's why I did it. Because it just seems like a good idea, and with infantry out in the open and armor running around here, we might be able to convince them to... Oh, son of a bitch. Well, we won't be able to convince them to leave, but we could have tried. We could have tried. We'll go ahead and rest you guys up. And send you up over yonder, and send you over that way. But I think... Alright, we might as well use the Stuka on you. Don't take any damage on our ground attack craft. But I don't think they're in any position to retake any of these cities. Damn, we need that. Yeah, are we going to be able to take these guys in one push? Probably not. So we're going to have to resupply these guys instead. I think I may have inadvertently hit the next turn button. I'm not sure. Oh, come on. Don't knock that artillery piece out. Oh, that's good. We didn't take all that much damage. I was expecting that to be far, far worse. Okay, so we finally hit some rainy weather, which means, as you can see, all of our aircraft unit don't have a red indicator. So we might as well just get them all back to port, since they're not, or port, to air bases, since they're not actually able to do anything. We'll get you guys repaired, and hopefully get a last push on this city. Yeah, I think we'll be okay here. And we might as well give the honor of taking our city to one of our own units. I think that's it. I think we did it. Let's see. We might as well finish you off. Boom. Yeah, we captured that city. We captured this one. That one's not an objective. We even got a couple of bonus cities out of the deal. Is there anything else we can do? Not really. So we could try to move the Navy away from the submarine just so it doesn't take any more damage. You're welcome, Donuts. You owe me. If you ever become Führer, you remember. You remember what I did. And I think that's going to be it. Even if they are able to kill that artillery, I mean, I'm going to have to rebuy it, and that sucks. But they're not going to be able to take the town. And that's a decisive victory. That is my first time getting a decisive victory in Norway, ladies and gentlemen. I'm feeling pretty pumped about that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty impressed with my abilities there. An impressive campaign in Norway, Herr General. Most impressive. With Norway firmly under German protection, we have secured our vital trade with Sweden and dealt the Allies a serious blow. Thanks to your efforts, we also have an excellent staging ground for any future operations in the North Sea. Continue this fine work and I will mention you to High Command.
It is good to see you here in Aachen, Herr General. Your skills will truly be put to the test in Operation Fall Gelb, von Manstein's plan to attack against the Low Countries. As you may know, there is a lot of talk among certain generals that this plan will achieve nothing but a panzer graveyard. Prove them wrong, and gain him as a powerful friend. Your primary objective is to break through the defending French, British and Belgian troops to reach the English Channel. High Command believes we can push all the way to the White Cliffs of Dover themselves if we are able to capture our objectives quickly enough. Utilizing the Ardennes forest, you may be able to bypass the Maginot Linie and smash the enemy lines at Sedan. This potentially risky strategy should allow you to outflank and encircle some of your more difficult objectives. All of Germany is united behind you in this endeavor. Do not disappoint us, Herr General.
All right, so we've got our victory conditions here. Capture all objectives with at least 9 turns remaining. Geez, that sounds pretty familiar. And can just capture all objectives. So I like that. The only way we can win is if we capture everything. Something good to keep in mind, we've got access to the 4Ds, we've got access to 150mm cannons, and we've got access to the BF-110D. Pretty exciting stuff. We can take a look at the objective, and all of a sudden you can see Norway we were able to do pretty quickly, and I think we had a little bit of luck involved on our side. This is a much bigger map. And to capture all these objectives with 9 turns remaining, that's going to be one heck of a tall order. And obviously, we got more units to put in. We've got 4 more units to add, so that's going to be helpful. We've also got, losses to replace, but that'll all happen in the next episode. Let's go ahead and give this a save as the Let's Play. And I think that just about does it for today's episode. So thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, jokes, musings, what have you below. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.